Welcome to the Power of Design podcast. My name is Jack Ossa. I'm an architect, born and raised in Colombia, South America. Years ago, I migrated to the United States to follow my dreams. And today, I'm the founder and principal of Ossa Studio, a multidisciplinary architectural design firm in Charlotte, North Carolina. In this podcast, we talk about design, business, creativity, and the inspiration we need to create an exciting and powerful built environment.
In this episode of the Power of Design podcast, Alaa BouGhanem reflects on building a strong team and leading with purpose. He shares insights about mentorship, business growth, real estate investment, and the power of collaboration across every trade that brings a building to life. Alaa also opens up about personal decisions, balance, and finding happiness through meaningful work. Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Alaa, welcome back to the Power of Design podcast. How are you today?
Good to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Man, I'm glad to see you here. I know we've known each other for a while, and I'm always admiring what you do. And I wanted to invite you back because you were one of the guests we had about 3 years ago, October 3rd, 2022.
Yeah.
So, almost 3 years exactly. And I'm excited to see what you're doing in the marketplace with your team, with your projects. I'm very inspired what you do. So I want to catch up and see how things are going.
I appreciate the invite. Thank you. Yeah, 3 years is a quite some time, and especially because the first time I came here was in 2022, which the firm had been alive for a year. Then we had started in June of 2021. So I was grappling to get it off the ground, and I feel like in these past 3 years we've done a decent job at building a team and training them. Probably one of the most things that I'm the most proud of is the team that we have, because I have a couple A players and they take a project and run with it now, but that took a lot of development for them to get there. And so seeing that in action actually brings me the most joy.
Oh yeah, so, I know how it is. When I see sometimes work that is going out and that I haven't touched the projects and they are the quality that I expect, and they look the way I want it to look, that's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
To say that you're still part of it, you just didn't touch it, didn't do it with your hands, but you created it because you created the environment for that to happen.
And the process, if they follow, it's like a recipe. Putting what we do and even putting a building together is like a recipe. If you go follow the steps the way they're supposed to be followed, and at the timeline that they're supposed to be followed at, and not skip steps and not half-ass steps, then the end result should be consistent. So the process I approach from that mentality, and I try my best to create foolproof processes so that they can't be gotten wrong. Even no matter who's trying to do them. Some of that succeeds, some of that fails, but as long as we have more wins than losses, we're doing
absolutely
good.
Yeah. And it's interesting because when you look at like the basics of business, there are no secrets. All the information is out there. You 100%. Can go online and then tell you what to do, the processes, the systems, the people, the training, the culture, invoicing, the accounting, all this, like all the information is there. But it's not just you take that and do it here and it magically works.
Yeah.
There is a huge other element in there. I will say maybe that's 50%, which is you implementing those things in your own business, right? Because sometimes some systems are very advanced, but they're shorting on other ones, and you don't know why. And that's what I realized, how the business owner mindset has a direct relationship with the business performance.
Yeah.
Because it's all mindset. 100%. If you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both ways. And if you keep saying these things, guess what's gonna happen? It's incredible. It's incredible. So the more and more I learn of business, the more and more I try to focus not on those things, but more in my own mindset to really understand and assimilate and execute concepts and make them a reality.
100%. I would say, um, the hardest thing has been um, finding the right people and putting them in the right seats.
Yes.
And the hiring recruiting process, now that, I've been doing it for 3 years,
Yes.
is proved to be the most challenging. But
Yeah.
when that works, all of the systems that you put in place seem to work.
Yes.
When you have the wrong person in the seat, no matter how, I would say, tweaked or fine-tuned your process is, they manage to drive the bus off the road. And so a part of that you said is kind of the business owner's mindset and creating that mindset as a company or as a team. And part of that is just, selection. And
Yes.
I've made some bad hires over these past 3 years. We could go into that if you want, but I've found that making the right hire, and you can't tell up front, at least in my case, you have to test it and then assessing whether it's good or bad.
Yes.
If it's good, you invest in the future. If it's bad, making the hard decision to let go
Yes.
is very important for the business, and surprisingly very important for the rest of the team. It actually raises their morales.
Oh, absolutely.
I've realized I was scared of letting go the first person that I hired and wasn't working out. And so after that decision was made and I executed on that decision, I felt like a sigh of relief from
Yes.
everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That nobody wanted to deal with it.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. Then when the following week, everything feels light, everybody's happy. And you're like,
So
oh
true.
my gosh, I didn't know. And you don't know how bad it was until that happened.
100%.
And even how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
You sleep much better.
Mhm.
You feel better.
And I would say, as the owner of the business, or let's say the director, even
Yes.
if you weren't the owner of the business, I feel like people who are successful in that role tend to take responsibility and assign fault to themselves for
Yes.
all of the problems.
Yes.
So you have to be very objective on, where does that fault line lie? Because is this really my fault? Could I have fixed it? Or, do I place the fault where, the actual issue is and deal with it external from myself? So if
Yes.
you do too much of that external, you're not taking enough blame. If you do too much of, blaming yourself, you're not necessarily improving the team and pruning the team. And so finding that balance is one of the hardest things to do. And sometimes the answer is the fault lies there. Sometimes the answer is the fault lies here. I personally tend to start with the fault lies here until I've, dragged that mindset too long and the problem hasn't been fixed. And then I try to look outside of myself for the issue. So I'm
Yes.
still learning the ropes on that part.
So my philosophy on that is that I'm 100% responsible for everything always.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I'm upfront, I'm 100% responsible for everything.
Yeah.
Because even if it's, let's say, somebody's behaving in a way it shouldn't, who picked that person,
Right.
who didn't have the right process to identify that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. But one thing that I may have changed and that I have changed is not about blaming.
Yeah.
Because blaming sounds like, oh, something negative, I need to point out what happened. No, it's just responsibility. It's accountability.
Yeah.
Because in order to learn how to do well a decision, you need to maybe do it wrong 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
That's the learning process. That's how you learn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even negative. Sometimes I feel that, and I feel it all the time, where I know concepts, like I understand them, but to like internalize it and really do it may take years.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a point that I'm like, oh my God, why am I not doing this? I've known this for years. And one day you start doing it. And it's like you're maturing and getting ready to assimilate that information.
Oh, 100%. And to your point, I had to come to the realization that the mistake that I made is not necessarily in the training. Let's say if that person is not necessarily in the development or having enough opportunities presented to them, the mistake that I made is in the team selection to begin with, the fit up front.
Yeah.
And so isolating that as the main reason.
Oh, yeah.
And then dealing with it as such once you found, that is to your point is, ultimately you're making all these decisions and nobody's pushing you to make them. You're making them based on your best judgment. And sometimes your best judgment is not best.
Correct.
And so,
nice. Okay. So for people that may have not listened the previous episode, why don't you give us just a quick overview of, how who you are, where do you come from, and a little bit about your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Alaa BouGhanem. I'm originally from Lebanon. I grew up there. I left Lebanon when I was 17 years old. I had finished my high school and everything. And then actually, to backtrack a little bit, when I was born, 1995, when I was born, my parents applied for immigration for the entire family. And fast forward until I finished high school, 17 years, our application gets approved. And we get, a mailer saying, hey, you're ready to come to the U.S., book one way, come claim your green card and set up, change your life. And so
yes,
I have an aunt here. And so that's how we landed on Charlotte. That's the only family I have. Me and my parents and my sister, family of four, we relocated here in 2012, 2013. And my parents stayed for about 2 months after we got here. They have their social circles pre-built in Lebanon.
Yep.
Everything was there. So they didn't necessarily want to reestablish themselves in the U.S. And so 2 months, 3 months after, they decided to go back to Lebanon. And for those who don't know, when you have your green card, you have to come into the country every 6 months. And so we are not by any means a family that can afford to fly from Lebanon to the U.S. every 6 months. And so they went back. Me and my sister stayed, and we went through the journey. I applied to architecture school, UNC Charlotte, got accepted, and my sister went to UNC Charlotte and became an accountant as well. And throughout the journey at UNCC, actually in the second year of architecture school, the national board, NCARB, the national board that accredits architects, launched this program called IPAL, which they were test piloting.
Yes.
And what that is a program that allows an architect to become licensed upon graduation from school. And so a typical path for an architect is probably 5 to 6 years of education, whether it's a bachelor or a master's, and then probably 2 years after that in experience. They ask for, I think, 4,000 hours under another licensed architect, and then 6 state exams. And so what that program does is that it takes all of those requirements and it squeezes them before graduation.
Yes.
And so I applied for that program. And at the time, the motivation to do that was nothing more than I had a warehouse labor job and I wanted to get some air conditioning. And so to be honest with you, that's how simple the approach was. I didn't have like a master grand plan for my life.
Yeah.
And so applied for that program, got accepted with one other person, and then we got assigned an architecture firm here in Charlotte to do our co-op /work, get our licensed experience hours.
Yeah.
And so we did that all throughout school. So worked pretty much a full-time job, I would say, or the equivalent of, while we were taking our courses. And then between my first year of grad school and the second year of grad school, I stopped and we took that full year off, worked full time, and took the 6 state exams.
Wow.
And so went back to school, did my last year of master's. And by the end of that year, which was May of 2020, yeah, right. It was the COVID online graduation year.
Yes.
And so finished all my requirements and I got licensed then. And so I stayed with the company that I was at until June of 2021, and that's when AB Group was launched, and
nice.
everything happened from there.
Yeah, no, man, that's amazing. That's a huge story, and the fact that you took the opportunity and did it without even thinking too much about it. You're like, you just want to do something, and I think that's a very immigrant mindset position.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't see that, and I remember making a lot of decisions when I came to this country, smaller decisions, something that, okay, I'm just going to do it this way without thinking too much. And now I'm like, wow, that decision changed my life.
Yeah, set me on trajectory.
Yeah, massive changes, opportunities, access to things that I didn't know. And it was just, like that internal engine that you have that you just keep going. And it's very, it's your instinct.
Yeah.
Just to tell you how to do things. So that's awesome.
I think a big part of it, like you said, is me thinking about my own life, and I'm like, if I left everything that I know and I came to the U.S., that already is kind of puts you way outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And so that 90% of motivational speakers say step outside of your comfort zone.
Right.
You look at yourself, you're like, okay, I've already done the hardest part.
Right.
What can be harder? And so
Yes.
it shifts your perspective a little bit on what risk is, if that makes sense. And you just walk into the next thing, and you can't walk into the next endeavor without understanding your limitations.
Mm-hmm.
But I think any external advice will exclude that understanding your limitations part.
Yes.
Only you can know that.
Right.
And so everybody from an advice that I got was based on their own limitations.
Correct.
And so I had to just reframe that a little bit. It wasn't bad advice. It was advice based on, bad inputs.
100%. 100%. You always need to look at not only the message, but the messenger.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I learned that early on. Everybody speaks out of their own. And that's one thing I try to manage when I'm communicating, so I don't sound like I'm imposing my limitations on others, because I have limitations, I said, okay, that's my perspective and that's what's happening to me, but I'm not like, blanket statements. Oh, that's hard. When you get to that point, is horrible.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it was for you.
Yeah.
Sure, that's the truth, but is it happy for everyone? No.
Yeah.
It's very individual and unique.
Yeah. And some hard, like you said, blanket statements are very subjective. Like, hard is a spectrum, and what somebody calls hard, somebody else might find easier, and vice versa. Another skill set that is required to do something might not be present, and then that makes that outcome hard to achieve for some person. So and it's one of those things that's very hard to encompass all the variables in. And so we tend to just give simple blanket statements on, but
True. Yeah. So what advice will you give an immigrant, maybe architect, designer, young, 20 years old, something like that is listening, that might be here or even in their country, who knows, but they want to advance, they feel inspired, they want to do what you have done. What advice will you give them?
Interesting. So without me knowing their specific situation to tailor the advice, I would say do not pick one mentor and bombard them with your questions. Go find people who are resourceful and talented at a specific problem you're trying to solve and ask them for their advice there.
Sure.
And so going through school, even here in the US, we've gotten that advice, hey, go find a mentor.
Yes.
And I found that a little bit backwards because you can't expect one person to answer all your questions.
Right.
And so my approach has always been different. It's like, find the person with the best answer to your problem and go ask them to help you with the solution. And that may mean that you have 200 fractional mentors.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Versus one. And it creates some distance too, because if that person, just from a personal standpoint, if that person wants to be your mentor but doesn't want to be, in your text message every single day. So, just it creates that separation as well, but also gets you better answers.
Sure. Yeah. Fun, for sure. It's communication. Finding someone, most likely older, that has done things you want to do, and just ask. You know, it sounds simple, but sometimes it's hard to do, especially when you're younger. You might be shy. You're like, they're not gonna pay attention to me. But actually, now that I'm in the other side, I feel excited when a young person wants some information or something. I want to help.
So I'm gonna put it out there. I'll take a risk with this statement, but I'll put it out there. I think every person needs to feel useful. Everybody internally has that need built in.
Yes.
And so after you get to a certain point in your career, the ability to satisfy that need through doing the work becomes limited. And so that's been my own interpretation for my own self, is that people will want to look to be useful in ways other than the production of whatever task they're meant to produce. And so most everybody will be open to, helping nurture the young, if you want to phrase it like that.
Yeah.
And so in my experience, I've only gotten yeses from people when I've asked for help. And so that barrier of people might be busy or might not want to help only exists in the person's mind.
Correct.
So it from personal experience, it's you have to approach it with good attitude. You have to be fun. You have to want to get that person excited about your message or about your question, and like the responsibility piece on the mentee. You have to show that person that you're taking their advice and using it usefully, meaning using it in a meaningful way.
Sure.
Otherwise, it's just talk at that point. Opinions, empty opinions, no execution. That's where you start to get the low response rates or the people not wanting to do that. But if you're high energy, fun, and you give that person a good time, even if it's just a lunch, they're more than happy to answer technical questions and career trajectory questions. That's just been my experience.
Yeah, that's cool. Tell me a little bit about your firm, your clients, projects, things that you guys work on.
Yeah, so on our side, contrary to popular belief that you have to niche down, that is also kind of overdone advice, I would say. We started with single family luxury homes because, as a 24, 25-year-old starting the company, that was the avenue that was easiest to start in.
Sure.
And so we built up a decent client base in that vertical. Yeah. And we continue to serve them till this day. And, we continue to do nice luxury homes. So that's constitutes about probably 30% of our business. And then the rest is commercial. And so my background while I was getting my license hours done and taking the exams, that firm that I used to work for, that was a commercial firm. And so I ended up gaining a lot of that commercial experience that I bring with me here today. And so a lot of the 70% is distributed between townhomes, multifamily apartments, office upfits and office renovations, retail, and most recently food service. And so restaurants, bars, coffee shops, anything that is retail mixed use based, we have the ability to handle. And so to be honest with you, that is very broad.
Sure.
But it stands true. Like that's what we've been working on. And it has been very interesting to build a team that has the mental elasticity to jump from one project type to another. We recently made a hire here. A gentleman wanted to move from Florida, from Miami to Charlotte, and he was looking for positions, an architect here, and his name's Derek. And a big complaint that he used to work for a luxury single family designer, and he was one of their project managers. So the owner of the company wasn't as involved. He was one dealing with the clients. And he did complain about that the most, is that, yes, we're doing these luxury homes, $15-20 million homes in Miami, but it got so repetitive. The infinite budget, no constraints, no restraints. You could do whatever you want. And you have 3 months to deliver the project or whatever, 4 months to deliver the project. After doing 5 or 6 of those, you get bored.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a designer.
Yes.
And so I think he found a lot of, what's the word for it? A lot of freedom to explore different projects at our company. And that, attracted him to us. In here, he's working on a 19,000 square foot event venue. He's working on a single family home build that is, a basic one compared to the ones that the $10-15 million ones that he was doing and used to doing in Florida. Yeah. So it has a lot of budget constraints. Yeah. Even at $1 million, $2 million, you still have budget constraints.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And as a side to that, is helping build our residential standards to what he used to be doing at the other luxury firm. So it's awesome. Even getting involved on that overhead the back end side and build the company standards is something that most people don't necessarily get to touch.
Sure.
And so they feel like they're contributing to the company beyond the clients themselves.
Yeah.
So that's a long answer to say that we're doing a lot of things. What we haven't gotten into is hospitals and airports, I would say. We have a couple warehouse storage projects, mixed use a lot in luxury single family.
I completely agree with you. I run my firm the same way. One of my biggest frustration when I work at corporate America was like we can do more.
Mm-hmm.
And why are we just doing 2, 3 building types and that's it?
Yeah.
And I understand the value of specialization,
Yeah.
sure. But if you're responsible, it's still a building. You can have if something is out of your comfort zone, get a consultant.
Yeah.
Ask to a mentor. There are people they help you. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
The information is out there. And in Colombia, where I'm from, you're an architect. And the client is not gonna say, no, I'm not gonna give you this project that you haven't done that before.
Yeah.
No, they understand it's space, and you find the information and you do it. And that's how I run my firm. Almost 99% of the time I say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And if we haven't done it, I said yes.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah, I think the main part of this is that the client's trust is in you as a question/answer finder.
Yes.
So once you position yourself as somebody who will do absolutely everything to get the right answer,
Yes.
then it's a little bit irrelevant what answer you're getting.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
So that's how I see it on my side.
Yeah. It's, it goes to the idea of what are we selling,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I always tell people, like, we're not selling drawings or designs. We're not selling buildings. We're selling two things. One, the experience of the client interacting with us. That's what we're selling. How do they feel about themselves when we're interacting with them? And all of our partners, everybody. That's the biggest selling point. And the second one is what our design is going to do for them.
Yeah.
Right? So what is the byproduct of using this design, this space, right? Because people don't want a building. What do you do in a building?
Yeah.
It's what you do in the building, what they want.
Yeah.
It's just the building is the container.
Exactly.
So as long as we give them that and they have a great experience while that's happening, we're golden.
Yeah. Very true. And the devil's in the details. So a lot of times in our industry, one person cannot deliver a design, one person can't deliver a building. And so you end up having to put together a team that is so broad and so large that you can't necessarily always predict the reaction of every member of the team, whether it's
Right.
the architect and the consultant team, the owner, the lender, the builder, the GC, and the subcontractor group. So just between those three arms and all of the sub-consultants that are under them, it becomes like a vast group of people that's very hard to predict. And so most issues that show up on a project end up being people issues,
Yes.
right? Or things like that are not necessarily predictable up front. And so it comes down to,
Yes.
building a network of people that you trust, but then a client shows up and they have a lender, and the lender is, what's the word for it? Difficult to work with.
Yes.
It sours it for everybody.
Right. And that's on top of the given mistakes that are going to happen.
Yeah.
Because people make mistakes.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. So there is a layer of issues that everybody knows is going to happen, and everybody will be nice, deal with each other. Somebody's going to forget something.
100%. And the best relationships that we have are people that jump on a call. Let's say something goes sideways or not as expected. They jump on a call and they lead by saying, this is the issue. Let's jump to solve it.
Yes.
We've had a couple of people that jump and try to like backtrack and see how everything got to how it was.
Yes.
It ends up being a wasted time.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So being, solution oriented is critical for what we
Yes,
do.
and team oriented.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to be very careful with who do I work with.
Yeah.
Contractor, client, engineering team, because inevitably something is gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm so happy to say, because the problems happens, and always we have a team, and we do things for others, and they do things for us.
Yeah.
And I just keep paying forward, and it doesn't matter who it is. I want to treat them the way I want to treat me when I make a mistake.
100%.
So now there are some people that love making mistakes over and over again.
So that's where, internally you try to put a limit on that. And if the mistakes the same mistakes keep showing up, then you just gotta part ways.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. At that point, it's not important.
The Power of Design podcast is brought to you by Ossa Studio, a multidisciplinary design firm focused on creating impactful experiences through the power of design. We partner with our clients to create buildings, interior spaces, brands, and strategies that help you deliver a successful project. As a minority-owned firm, we are committed to building a diverse platform of curious and driven design professionals so we can together pursue our full potential. For more information, please visit us at www.ossastudio.com.
Cool. Tell me about your vision for your business. And no, before that, tell me more, because you're not only doing architecture. You have your investment group, and who knows what else.
So I didn't touch on that a lot. I kept it all architecture, but in August of 2024, we launched Cribia Capital, and that is an investment fund for real estate investment. And the business model is fairly straightforward. Build a unique housing product, something that the market will want and will accept, and hopefully will pay a premium for. And leverage all of the network of general contractors, subcontractors, consultants that we've put together, and hopefully deliver that at a profit. Really, that's the base model. Now, through Cribia, we started acquiring lots in Charlotte. So we have a 4-unit lot, 2 duplexes off of Cambrian Street. That's close to the downtown Charlotte. We just completed a renovation of a home, also in an opportunity zone on Freedom. And 4 more units in Gastonia. And so those are going to be duplexes as well. We're going through the civil engineering piece on that one. And so, example of the Fern Forest project, for example, that Northway Homes owned those lots for the longest time. There's a creek that runs behind them. And there's a floodway and a floodplain restriction on the lots. And they struggled. They couldn't get the project to move forward from, an entitlement standpoint, getting permits, getting the subdivisions done. And so we went and got those lots from them at very cheap, I should say, very inexpensively. And myself being an architect, and us having a civil engineer in-house now. And so that, as of a year ago, we partnered with the civil engineer. And so we were able to quickly look at the lot and figure out what it needs and build a plan with Gastonia, the city of Gastonia, that they're willing to accept. And then take that and run with it. And so, numbers on that deal, for example, bought the lots for $50,000 combined. And then after the entitlement, and you do the hydraulic study for the elevation of the flooding. And you prove that after development there isn't going to be isn't going to be a significant effect to the elevation of the creek after post development. You subdivide into 4 units. Now each unit lot is worth $50,000. That's going to receive a $250,000, $300,000 unit on it. And so you've taken $50,000, put in probably $20K in engineering on top of it, and you've turned that into $200. So that model, because of our understanding of the UDO, and we're actually offering that service to people, right? And so it only makes sense to do it for ourselves.
Absolutely.
And the biggest leverage that I felt we have as architects, with our clients being developers, mostly on the private side, is being able to speak their language. And so when I break a deal like that down to somebody that I'm trying to sell the project, they say, speak no more. They just give you their project, like, okay, do that for me. Because back to what you said, they're not buying the drawings. They could care less if you could get it built.
They're not buying the building.
Exactly. They could care less if you could get the the outcome with no drawings.
Sure.
Like if I was to recite to the city what the codes are and get them to give us an approval with no drawings, if there was a world where that was possible, the client wouldn't care.
Sure.
So all the drawings are an instrument of communicating something.
100%.
And so if I'm able to communicate to the client that I can get you that result and I've gotten it for myself and here's the proof, they don't look to investigate you very much.
Right. Yeah.
And
because now what you're selling is unique.
Yeah.
It's
and
unique.
Granted, you have to deliver on that promise.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
absolutely.
you're working on a negative reputation. And so you're taking away from the goodwill bucket every promise that you don't deliver on.
Oh, yeah.
And so you want to make sure that goodwill bucket is very, very thick and heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, and you always try to do your best because you're also betting a lot on yourself, and that is that risk factor, and it needs to be there, and hopefully you measure as much as you can so it's right most of the time. Yeah.
100%. And on that Cribia side, we're starting with residential. I feel like it's following the same path trajectory as AB Group, as the architecture firm.
Yeah.
Like we start with the low-hanging fruit, residential, but the goal is to go into multifamily. The goal is to go into mixed-use strip malls.
That would be nice.
Develop strip malls from the ground up.
Yes.
So we are already doing all of that, figuring out the zoning, figuring out the site, figuring out the layout of the space for other people. The only restriction is capital. So if you can build a big enough egg nest of capital, you can go and start doing that stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
And one thing that I saw from like even working at the previous firm that I was working at and seeing the clients, the architect is just a line on the P&L for the developer. Yes. And so, and to be honest, not a very big line at all.
No.
Like
an irrelevant line.
An irrelevant line, yeah. So instead of managing the P&L of an architect, let's try to manage the P&L of the developer. Basically, that's the Cribia idea.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And it's the whole chain of events to create the built environment. I always, when I see architecture firms or projects or magazines that they say, the design changed the workplace and this design, I'm like, no, there are all other elements that happen. The design was one, but when you finish the design, it's drawings, lines on a paper.
Yeah, and that's
somebody needs to build it.
Not to diminish the role of an architect, but there's a huge, I think, wave of architects saying, "Oh, without me, you don't get the design."
Yeah.
In my mind, that's not very true. Like without the plumber, you don't get the building. Without the electrician, you don't get the building.
Yes.
Without the finance guy, the finance company, you don't get the building. And so it is only possible by all of these coming together. So you cannot act selfish and say, without me, you can't do it. So I am the most valuable. Because that same logic applies to everybody else on the team.
Yeah.
And so to your point, not to diminish the role of the architect, we have a pretty significant role in how it all comes together, but it is a false claim to say that it's all you.
And sometimes people, even we do it because how do we show our work? Pictures of the projects, right? But we didn't build it. And we're showing a picture of something that somebody else built. Yeah, we designed it, but it's a whole team effort.
Yeah.
That's where, when I started the podcast, I call it the power of design, which to me, the power of architectural design is the intersection of commercial real estate, banking, project managers, brokers, maintenance, anybody doing work there, generating the money, all these things. Design, think about the space, renderings, ideas, put it on paper, and then construction. There are 3 buckets, and they all are their own world. And my concept was, I talk to those 3 buckets, the other 2 buckets all the time because I'm an architect, but I'm talking to these people either in the project scenario, which is very like transactional and technical, or very fast in a networking event. So how do I have deeper conversations, which means better connection with other humans in the same circle that are participating of creating the built environment?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're doing a great job with the podcast and in terms of just going online and seeing the quality of people, the quality of conversations. I feel like you're achieving that.
Thank you.
With this podcast. That's
Yeah,
pretty
no,
awesome.
I'm excited, and I don't pay a lot of attention to monetizing or how many listeners. I always tell people, you are episode 105.
Yeah.
So I had 105 great conversations
Mm-hmm.
with people that are very smart, that they tell me about their lives, about their business. I learned so much that it makes me a better person just having the conversation. So if no one ever listened to any episodes, sure, I'm already winning.
If the one listener is Warren Buffett, then it makes up for all the other ones that didn't listen.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What do you do in terms of behaviors or things that you do daily to keep up yourself sharp, focused, excited? Because doing what you're doing is taxing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of energy, and it drains you a lot. So what do you do to keep up with that? Because I'm sure you have to do something physically, mentally, any area.
So I would say what I do is passive. It's not active, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say active, I mean something that requires me to dedicate time towards it.
Yes.
Passive is something that doesn't require me to dedicate time towards it, which is probably just like sleeping well, making sure I'm comfortable sleeping.
Yeah.
And that has probably the biggest lever in terms of staying sharp and staying on point.
Sure.
And the other thing too is not being around energy draining people.
Oh yeah.
And so that if I found that if I just do these two things right, I'm okay.
Yes.
But if I don't do one of these two things right, no amount of yoga is gonna fix that.
Oh sure.
And so that's kind of the mentality that I have. So right now I've just turned 30.
Yeah.
And so I'm still fairly on the younger side, and I feel like I have a decent amount of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't necessarily do anything outside of that to expand the energy.
Sure.
I just try to rest very well and just keep the people in my circle energy building versus energy draining.
Yeah, man, that's all you need to do. I mean, you get your basics down. It's very important, physically, like you have to sleep well.
That's been a big change to me personally because I just got married in July of this past summer. And, finding the right person, meeting the right person, getting to know them, getting them to like you enough to want to marry you,
Yeah.
all of that was, I would say, a scare for me before I met the right person.
Yes.
And now, I'm 3 months into a marriage.
Yeah.
Granted, it's fairly new, but that part of it is not taxing the way I thought marriage would be, mentally or emotionally. Like it feels very light, extremely light.
Sure.
And I don't know. I mean, me and my wife, we grew up. She's Lebanese as well. Grew up in a small village.
Yeah.
We have fairly similar expectations from a family standpoint, and
Sure.
so there's major alignment there.
Yeah.
But I've always had it in my mind, and I was wrong, I could say, that marriage is another thing that you want to layer on top of your work in order. Let's say you give, I don't know, 10 hours of work a day to work. You got to give 10 hours of work to marriage, and then at some point you run out of hours in the day.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been like that. It has been more like a high performance teammate.
Yeah.
Where I should say like a rally race where you hand the stick to the other person.
Yeah.
You stop running, the other person starts running for you. The race keeps going versus you having to run this race, win it, and come back and run the other race and win it.
Sure.
So that has been a little bit of a mindset shift for me that I'm extremely grateful for.
Yeah. So I know you probably have heard these books or podcasts when they say the best business decision you can make is who you marry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is who you marry. That is the most important business decision a person can make. And you realize, because that decision is like business decisions. You make a bad business decision, you'll feel it.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
You feel it immediately. Like it's not like, no, nothing is going to happen. No, you feel it. In your marriage is the same. You made the bad decision, you feel it right away.
Yeah.
And to me, I've been married 20 years. And what you've been going through, I'm in year 20 and I'm the same
That's
thing is still
awesome.
happening. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, it's not what I thought.
Yeah.
This is way better.
Yeah.
This is way lighter.
Yeah.
Even more. Like that never stops, at least for me.
That's
I feel,
awesome to
yeah,
hear. For
yeah.
someone who's just got married, that's
yeah,
incredible.
I feel, because a lot of people are like, oh, marriage. And I just see them like, well, no. And it's, it's a journey, because it's basically you decide, you another stranger that is not your blood.
Yeah.
You say, we're not blood, but we're going to be family.
Yeah.
And we're going to experience life together, up and down, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And man, there is so much value in that. And it's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. My parents celebrated 51 years last
Wow.
week.
That's incredible.
And I'm on 20.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, 50.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
imagine.
goal to
And I'm pretty sure they're probably saying the same thing that I'm saying and that you're saying. It's possible when, for some reason, you find the person that you align and click.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's cool. Man, congratulations.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
A major milestone.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome. And the skills that you still use to do business and you do things, you're gonna use in your relationships. You're gonna have troubles, you're gonna have to solve them, you're gonna have to work, there's gonna be projects, there's gonna be issues, there's gonna be things that are happy. It's the same skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is very true. I actually passively thought about that. Never really spoke it out loud, but you developing yourself to become a more skilled person, a more capable person in general,
Yes.
makes for an easier life.
Absolutely.
And so whether that's, regardless of where you choose to apply that capacity, it just makes for an easier life. And so instead of having hardship and not having the tools or the mindset or the strength to fix it, that creates anxiety and worry. And it's like being in a rocking chair.
Yes.
It doesn't take you anywhere. It's just you feel like I'm stuck.
Yes.
And so I feel what you're saying is that continuing to build yourself as a more capable individual,
Yes.
mentally, physically, emotionally, all of that stuff.
Yes.
Whether you take it and apply it in business, you can take it and apply it in marriage.
Yeah.
And you can tackle those, hurdles that come up in a much more calmer and poised way, I should say.
Sure. I never agree with the term life-work balance.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there is no life work.
Mhm.
You are a human experiencing life
Yeah.
in a continuum
Yeah.
time lapse. There is no start and stop. There are no divisions. You're here, you're there in a cultural, experiential, even different space, but you're still the same person.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So I present that to anybody who argues the work-life balance or puts forward the work-life balance argument. Is there a leisure life balance?
Yeah.
Like on something that's on the opposite side of work that you measure against life?
Yes.
There isn't. Like somebody who is out on a vacation, do you measure the hours of vacation to life, or is that a part of the life component of that statement?
Yeah.
Because that's something you enjoy doing?
Yeah.
Anybody that presents a work-life balance argument to me, all that tells me is that person hates what they're doing. And so the answer to that is not the result, the what's on the other side of the equation from work-life balance. The answer to that is find something else to do.
Sure.
So that's what, and I tell everybody that. And some people take it, okay. Some people are like, no, and they get into it with me. But it's more of a mindset and a philosophical thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who just go through life doing a job they don't like to get money so that they can do some things they like. And that's just a trade that is sad, I should say.
Sure. Well, it's a choice.
It is.
But sometimes people don't know they have a choice.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I don't know why, and I feel very lucky that I love what I do.
Yeah.
I just love it. Every day I'm here, I'm drawing, I'm going to clients, I'm busy, I'm sending emails. And I'm saying, like, I look at myself like, man, this is fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
You set a pace for yourself, at least myself. I set a pace for myself. And I feel like if I am not matching up to that pace, then something is off. So it's like an internal alarm that comes off. And it comes off in if I have the mental opportunity to think negative stuff, that means I am not being occupied with positivity, that this is making its way into my brain. And so it becomes more of a, and this is going to sound, pie in the sky to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But in my mind, if I'm policing what goes into my brain,
Yes.
I want enough positivity to be flowing in that negativity stays pressured out.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's food. It's mental food.
Yeah.
If you eat trash, then
trash comes out.
If you eat junk food, what do you get?
100%.
If you eat healthy,
Yeah.
how do you feel? It's just what goes in goes out.
Yeah.
There is some negative stuff, sure, because we're human, and sometimes like, oh, what if this, what if that? But we produce enough. We don't need to add more negative from outside.
100%.
Yeah.
And there's enough internal sway in that direction that you don't need to add to
Oh
it.
yeah, it's natural. So deal with that amount. That's
And
it.
the other thing, to me at least, is that happiness is the biggest attractor of people. So why would I want to compromise on that by putting unhappy stuff, or focusing on that unhappy? I'm losing such a secret weapon I say weapon, I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I'm losing an asset, which is
Yeah.
happiness and the reciprocal effect that has on the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of whatever. It could be even watching a horror movie that I have to think about for 3 days after.
Yeah.
That's something that simple.
Yeah, and it's something you do for yourself because it's much
Yeah.
better. But even more than that, you're making other people's life better.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to interact
With a happy
with somebody?
person.
Yeah, somebody that feels good about themselves and they immediately feel good. It's that mirror effect.
Yeah. So tying that back into the architecture and work, building the company, that has been a core thing, is that I need to be a source of happiness for my team.
Yes.
And then I have to police the culture to make sure nobody's throwing junk in the
That's
emotional bucket of the team.
That's right.
Because it happened to us too with the wrong person.
Yeah.
And negativity just seeps in, and the more you let it go, the more it increases. And all of a sudden you feel like some people drawing off of that energy, and it just turns into a bad situation before you feel it. And so you just need to cut that off.
Yeah, I hate the feeling when I come to work and I, let's say, ignore and procrastinate on letting someone go. I let things go for so long, which is one of my kind of weaknesses. I wait too much and too patient. And then I see it and I'm like, so I come to work and I don't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And I come back home like, this is my freaking business. Yeah. I need to feel amazing every single day.
Yeah.
That's the minimum standard. And I don't feel good about this situation. Like that's what makes me take the decision.
And you make an incredible point here, is that like a lot of the bad feeling that resonates is around not acting on something inside of you telling you need to act on.
Yes.
So when you say like, I need to feel amazing about the business every single day, doesn't mean that everything is going great.
Correct.
It means there are still issues that I need to manage, people that I need to, develop, things that I need to improve.
Yeah.
But I need to feel like I am meaningfully contributing to the solution every single day for me to be ecstatic about the progress. Yeah. Same thing for me. Like I feel like if I show up and I know in my mind something is wrong and I've seen it trend in that direction and I'm not doing anything to adjust it or fix it, I go home and I'm like, this is a missed opportunity today, and that day's never going to come back.
What's even crazier is that, and it's going back to what you said about not being with people with bad energy, right? Just having a person physically in the same workspace with the wrong energy that is not aligned with your vision, that hurts.
Yeah. They don't have to do anything.
Yeah, no, they just need to be there.
They just have to exist.
Yes, and it's not good or bad. It's just they're not aligned with the vision.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
Yeah, that's a big distinction. That doesn't mean that person is bad.
Yeah, no.
Put them in a different group.
No,
they're going to fly, go to the moon.
Yeah.
It's just this piece of puzzle doesn't fit in this corner of the picture. That's all that it means. And so a lot of people have a tendency to over-explain or overthink, or maybe even think that they are the bad person. I try to stay away from all of that unnecessary explanation.
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
this piece of the puzzle is not fitting.
It's alignment.
I need a piece of puzzle that fits. It's simple.
Is that it? And then, it's good to understand now when you have a team that it's easy. Your job is to say, this is where we're going. This is how I plan to get there. Who's coming?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, and so
That's it.
100%. And I would say a little bit with that is you have to show them that you are not scared to take the first step.
Sure.
So once you cross that threshold of fear yourself, I think a flood of people will come with you. But beyond just, a lot of leaders just set the vision and set the trajectory and build the plan. Just don't take the first step, and it never comes to fruition.
Right.
I think you just have to bust that barrier every single time. Everything new that you're doing, you have to bust the barrier, and then a flood of people will follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I have my last question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a question for me?
I do. So, to me, you're my idol, one of my idols.
Oh, thanks.
And
Thank you.
What I love about what you do is, the firm that you've created, the type of clients that you do, the work that you do, it's, all over the walls and everywhere. And I absolutely, see myself in you.
Yeah.
And so my question to you is, if you are, let's say, 8 or 9 years into your business.
Yeah.
Is it 8?
8.
8. Yeah. Okay. If you were going to go back to somebody who is 4 years into their business.
Yeah.
And or maybe your own 4-year mark.
Yeah.
What would you have chose to do or not to do that is trajectory setting for your business? Like looking at where you are today.
Yeah.
Just from your own from your own experience.
Yeah.
That would be my question.
Yeah. So, I thought a lot about that. I think a lot about that. My last answer, and I'm going to give you 2 because I had 2. My last and best answer is business is just something that is happening in your mind, and you're creating this world, right? And it's happening in a timeline, and you make a decision, and there's these roles, and you think you're playing this game, and this is happening. Whatever it happens is real, and is yours, and is precious, and it has the right time, right? So like when I look at where I am today, I realize I am where I have to be.
Okay.
I am where I am to be because everything that had happened had been a process with me, with my mind, with my decisions, the things here, the weaknesses, the learning. Like the more and more I'm in the game, the more and more I care less about thinking about going back in time and changing it.
Interesting.
But the more I appreciate the only thing that matters, which is the present.
Okay.
Not the past, not the future. Not like, so I want my present to change, so let me go to the past and think what I could have done, and then I think that's going to happen there. That happens because, of course, plans and things like that. But the less I care about that, the more I care about is the day to day. Still there, I think about that. So now I answer it from the other side, which, I have thought about that from the practicality side. So, but I don't see it as like, I should have done this. Like, no, I value what happened is real. And are things more internal, like how I relate to myself, how I relate to my risk tolerance, making decisions. So, I love the risk decisions. I'm always measuring, am I taking enough risk? Am I not taking enough risk? Am I taking enough risk? I'm pushing and pulling. And some people may feel like, oh man, I'm taking too much risks. I really need to back down. I feel it the other side. Okay. I'm not taking enough risk. I think I should be taking more risk. That's always in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
But I've known people that is the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. It could be, both are equal. It's the same.
Yeah.
So I would say, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe taking more risk. But I feel that I've taken risk and what had happened up until today, I love it. Like when I look at what I have, I'm like, man, this is amazing. This was a dream in my mind in Colombia years ago, decades ago, and now it's here and it's physical and it's happening.
Yeah, you're living it.
What else can I ask for?
Yeah.
Can it be bigger? Sure. Do I want it to be bigger? Sure. Let's try. See what happens. If it doesn't happen, who cares?
So I love that answer because in my mind, 4 years into it, there's always that looking back and saying, I wish I had done that. This was a missed opportunity. You see all of it in retrospect.
Yeah.
But your answer is basically what I'm looking to get from it is focus on the moment. The same way 2 years ago you focused on the moment and you missed some opportunities, you claimed some, and you are today where you are. Yeah. Focus on today's moment, and maybe in 2 years you're probably going to miss some opportunities. There's no saving that. And you're probably going to claim some, and you're going to be at a different point, which at that point you have to look at where you are in the moment as well. And so stay present is...
Appreciate every single moment because it's real and it's precious and it's not going to last forever.
Absolutely.
And when you look at things through that lens, now the next thing is going to be look at people like that. Mm-hmm. Wow. I look at my family and I see it. I have my wife and I have 3 kids. And I said, wow, I get the opportunity to spend time physically and many years with 4 amazing humans that are beautiful. And I get to experience how they experience life and grow, and they see mine, and we share with each other and we experience emotions together. That's incredible. Yeah. And then you bring it to the workplace. Wow, I get to share with these people that they could be working anywhere in the world, but they chose to be here. Yeah. And for some reason, we crossed paths and we got into the same mindset, and now we're here with our physical energy and mental energy, creating the world. Yeah. Man, that is mind-blowing.
Yeah. What a way to end that question. That's pretty awesome.
Awesome. All right, man. Alaa, thank you so much. 58 minutes. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming here. And, I always say the same. I'm one of your fans. Keep doing what you're doing. Dude, you're in the right trajectory. And I hope we can stay being friends and do more work together, because we're working together, and just see what happens.
Absolutely. And I would say hopefully in 3 years, I'll have more to tell you about Cribia.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Power of Design podcast. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review if you like this content. And find us online at thepowerofdesignpodcast.com. I invite you to join my mission to become a better version of yourself through the power of design.